η Ελλάδα είναι παρούσα εδώ με όλες τις δυνάμεις της. Όπως βλέπετε, δικό μας περίπτερο με όλες τις περιφέρειες, τους δήμους, τον Ελληνικό Οργανισμό Τουρισμού και επαναλαμβάνω σκληρή δουλειά. Η δουλειά για έναν Υπουργό Τουρισμού γίνεται τώρα, το φθινόπωρο και το χειμώνα. Να πω λοιπόν ότι οι αγγλικές αεροπορικές εταιρείες και tour operators αντιδρούν πολύ θετικά με βάση τα αποτελέσματά τους για το 2021, για το 2022. Μόλις συμφωνήσαμε με την Jet2 και μπορώ πλέον να το ανακοινώσω για 600.000 θέσεις παραπάνω το 2022 από το 2019, για νέους προορισμούς από το Manchester και το Bristol, την Αθήνα από 15 Απριλίου, έρχονται φέτος στην Ελλάδα από 1 Απριλίου. Άρα το καλοκαίρι για τους Εγγλέζους ξεκινάει νωρίς στην Ελλάδα, πρώτος προορισμός Ηράκλειο και σειρά προορισμών, πάνω από 15 προορισμοί από όλη την Αγγλία για εμάς και επίσης προχωρημένες συζητήσεις πλέον για να παραμείνουν ανοιχτοί κάποιοι από τους προορισμούς αυτούς το χειμώνα του 2022 και το χειμώνα του 2023. Άρα βλέπετε ότι οι αγγλικές αεροπορικές εταιρείες και οι tour operators εμπιστεύονται τη χώρα μας, αυτή είναι ψήφος εμπιστοσύνη για την Ελλάδα. Για μας είναι πάρα πολύ σημαντικό γιατί πρόκειται για το 25% του ΑΕΠ μας, για νέες θέσεις εργασίας, πιο ποιοτικές θέσεις εργασίας. Παραλαμβάνω, το καλοκαίρι ξεκινάει από την άνοιξη για εμάς, αλλά δεν είναι μόνο αυτό. Επιμένουμε και επενδύουμε στο City Break. Αθήνα και Θεσσαλονίκη είναι κομβικές πόλεις στρατηγική μας και βλέπετε ότι αντιδρούν και οι μεγάλοι παίκτες παγκοσμίως. Aquí να θυμίσω ότι η καμπάνια με τον ΕΟΤ φέτος ξεκινάει με τους χειμερινούς προορισμούς και το City Break από τα τέλη Νοεμβρίου και ότι από τις αρχές Απριλίου ξανά ξεκινούν και οι 13 πτήσεις από την Αμερική και 14 με την Emirates επανεβεβαιώσαμε που παραμένει ανοιχτή και όλο τον χειμώνα και γίνονται συζητήσεις και βούλησής μας είναι της ελληνικής κυβέρνησης και του Υπουργείου Τουρισμού να μπορέσουμε να έχουμε πτήση από την Αμερική και στην Θεσσαλονίκη. Σε συνέχεια της επίσκεψης του Πρωθυπουργού και των πολύ σημαντικών οικονομικών και αναπτυξιακών συμφωνιών συνάντησα τον ομόλογό μου του τουρισμού. Θυμίζω ότι πριν από μερικές εβδομάδες επισκέφθηκε τη χώρα ο ομόλογός μου από τη Σαουδική Αραβία των επενδύσεων. Είναι κοινή βούληση να μπορούμε να έχουμε πιστοποιητικά εμβολιασμού και άρα πιστοποιητικά παύλα διαβατήρια τα οποία είναι συμβατά για όλο τον πλανήτη. Θυμίζω ότι κάνει μια πολύ μεγάλη προσπάθεια η ελληνική κυβέρνηση του Πρωθυπουργού και επέτυχε να βάλει ψηφιακό πιστοποιητικό για την Ευρώπη. Πλέον θεωρούμε ότι όπως ο ιός δεν γνώρισε σύνορα και έδωσαμε μια μάχη εμείς πολύ επιτυχημένη, μια μάχη όμως όλος ο πλανήτης για να ανταπεξέλθει. Το ίδιο πρέπει να ισχύει και για τους κανόνες, τα πρωτόκολλα και τον τρόπο μετακίνησης για όλους τους ταξιδιώτες από όλο τον πλανήτη. Οπότε είναι σημαντικό να βρούμε κοινό τόπο, να βρούμε κοινά πρωτόκολλα υγειονομικά και κοινές διαδικασίες έτσι ώστε να μπορούμε να δεχόμαστε, μια που μιλάμε για την Ελλάδα, επισκέπτες από όλο τον κόσμο. Όταν μιλάμε για βιώσιμο τουρισμό, όταν μιλάμε για μείωση ή για μηδενικά αποτυπώματα άνθρακα, όταν μιλάμε για τον πλανήτη μας και το μέλλον των παιδιών μας, ο κάθε ηγέτης, και αυτό το έκανε ο Κυριάκος Μητσοτάκης, και η χώρα μας πρέπει να μπορεί να προγραμματίσει με ποιον τρόπο θα δούμε και θα έχουμε προστασία των θαλασσών μας, προστασία του οικοσυστήματός μας, νέους και καλύτερους περιβαλλοντικούς όρους και για την ανάπτυξη και για τις επενδύσεις και για τον τουρισμό φυσικά και τι καλύτερος τρόπος για όλο αυτό από το να ξεκινήσουμε από τα νησιά μας. Το είδαμε ήδη σε συγκεκριμένα νησιά τα οποία έχει εκκινήσει. Επαναλαμβάνω, οι ανακοινώσεις είναι από τον Πρωθυπουργό και η δική μας υποχρέωση είναι να προσαρμόσουμε τις συνθήκες αυτές μετά στο τουριστικό μας προϊόν. Έχουμε μια πανέμορφη μοναδική χώρα, πρέπει να την προστατεύσουμε, πρέπει να την προασπίσουμε και πρέπει αυτό να είναι εμφανές σε όλο τον κόσμο γιατί είναι σίγουρο ότι για τα επόμενα χρόνια οι ταξιδιώτες ανά τον πλανήτη και σίγουρα σε τουριστικούς προορισμούς θα επιζητούν αυτό ακριβώς το δεδομένο.
I would like to welcome you all here today to the World Travel Market in London. As a new director of the Greek National Tourism Organization, I'm very happy and honored to be among friends and distinguished guests. And to be honest, much more because I don't have to do that via Zoom. We are very, very happy to see you all here. Please take your seats. And without further ado, I would like to ask the Minister, Mr. Βασίλης Κικίλιas, who was one of the key players for the recovery of Greece after the pandemic, as a new Minister of Tourism for Greece, to take the floor.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We're highly honored to have a full house today, so I'll try to be brief with the stats in order to take questions and then fire it up with Vassos, who I'm very, very anxious to talk with on stage. So, officially, let me welcome you and thank you for being here with us today. It's a pleasure to be able to meet physically, well, after 2 years of pandemic that there is no doubt severely affected, among others, the tourist industry in Greece, Great Britain, and all over the world. So please allow me to say a few words about our goals on behalf of the Ministry of Tourism. And then, like I already said, I'm all yours for questions. Greek tourism has shown remarkable resilience, and all numbers and statistics showcase that this year we have managed to overcome the 50% target of 2019, as well as to improve all quality indicators. The figures show that travel receipts more than doubled on a one-year basis, and given our exclamatory performance in autumn, we can probably surpass 65 to 70% threshold of our record year 2019. All quality indicators such as average spending and length of stay were significantly improved, as well as, and this is important, for a country that a quarter of our GDP relies on tourism. You do see that the distance between the podium and me is quite a big one. I'm sorry, I was a professional basketball player. I'm 2 meters before I became an orthopedic surgeon and a doctor, so we'll have to do with that. This is meant to be built for a normal height and a normal person, I understand. I'll make the best out of it. So this came as a result of the clear message that we delivered early on before the beginning of the season, as well as because of the enhanced safety measures that made traveling to Greece a less painstaking procedure amid the pandemic crisis. This is a key essence, I think, to what travelers put as a high priority in order to travel to Greece. In my capacity as the former Minister of Health during the 2 years of the pandemic, I must stress the fact that the hospitality professionals in Greece, a lot of them are amongst us today, and the leaders of municipalities and regions, who are also here, I want to thank them very, very, very much, made an exceptional work abiding with all protocols and this we are sure will be the case for 2022 as well. So Greece will be open early on 2022 in some areas that the weather allows. You do know that we have a very, very mild winter. We will open mid-March, in others from early April. I have to inform you that, for example, Jedu has already agreed for 600,000 more travel receipts starting April 1st for Greece, and that most tour operators have already pre-booked a sum of over 30% of pre-bookings from October to this summer than what was the case in October 19 for that summer. That shows the dynamics of our product. So full recovery in Greek tourism is expected in 2022. This is not based on wishful thinking, of course, but on a hard data we're getting on the number of new flights, new routes, and interest expressed for Greece from the industry. I would like to stress out that we want to make Greece a role model of sustainable tourism. In this regard, there are many initiatives that were already in place, such as carbon-free and plastic-free islands, the Mediterranean 2030 initiative, and others. Actually, the Prime Minister of Greece, Mr. Kyriakos, is in Glasgow today talking about this specific matter. We wish to introduce to our prospective visitors many parts of the country that were till now less known. What does that mean? That means that there were a lot of travelers that found out about Mykonos back in the 60s or the 50s, or Santorini back in the 70s. We had the Navarone Ganj in Rhodos back in the 70s, Rhodos, beautiful Kerkyra with all these beautiful movies and industry there. Mrs. Rodi Kratsa, the governor of the whole region, is here. But we have many, many other islands and many, many other facilities and many, many other beautiful cities like Thessaloniki with city break and cruising. So we would like to spot this out and let people have the opportunity to know where they can visit and have a new touristic experience. And we want to extend the season, and that's a goal on the making. So autumn months showed that in many summer locations we can accommodate people till November, and we are getting ready to welcome them again as early as mid-March, whereas the year-round locations, I already talked about Thessaloniki, of course our capital Athens, which is city break, we can apply to all segments of visitors. On how to cope with the post-pandemic aspects of the crisis, Greece's National Recovery and Resilience Plan, the RRF, has 320 million euros of budget for tourism development, infrastructures, reskilling, upskilling, touristic education, digitalization. We're there to work together with the private sector, the public sector, in PPPs, in order to be able to upgrade our facilities. And as far as the destination management is concerned, our goal includes enriching the mix with more sustainable destinations on the map, like already stated, making Greece one of the top global sustainable destinations as well. Well, thank you all for your special interest to my country, to our country, Greece. I give the floor to you, of course, via Eleni, to hear the questions, and we'll be more than happy to make the best effort to answer it as many as I can. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Kikilias. And I would like now to ask Vassos Alexander, our guest for today, to take also his seat and be prepared for a small chat. We wanted to do something different. We didn't want just Vassos to talk to us and just saying a story, because we wanted to have a very nice interaction with the minister, and of course Vassos, that he's a great presenter. He's a distinguished presenter here in the UK, a radio reporter in Virgin, and he has a daily show. It's called the Chris Evans Show, with a lot of millions of people that are listening it every morning in the radio. So it's a really very well and distinguished reporter and a journalist, but most of it, he's Greek.
Yeah, I am Greek, but and the first thing I have to say, having spent a lot of my childhood in Greece, is that Vasilis, you've put me to shame. Your English is better than my Greek. So, and you played basketball for your country, and you're a surgeon, and you sorted out COVID in the UK. So, you know, give the rest of us a chance.
Yeah, we are very proud of our minister. Our new minister, I think it's appointed just recently, but perfect for his place.
Absolutely. Well, I'm very honoured, and thank you for inviting me. I'm very pleased to be here. I have such pride, and you know, pride is one of those emotions. But I'm so happy, I'm so privileged to have been born Greek. It's a country that just seems to talk to your soul when you go. And I was born here in London, but with my mother's parents. I was brought up by my dad, but every term would end here in the UK, and I'd be on the first flight with my brother, little lanyards round our necks, unaccompanied minors, like you could go, Olympic Airways, right at the back, just in front of the smokers, down to Athens, where we get picked up by my grandparents, my mother's parents, and they would take us to the house that my grandfather built on the island of Evia, which is just off the mainland. You just drive over a bridge. Back in the old days, you had to go right round, and then they built a new bridge, which took about 2 hours off the journey, which was fantastic. And I just have such happy memories of living there with my grandparents and my brother. It was just the four of us. He built the house, in his own hands. Big, strong, fat man, sort of traditional Greek man. But he was born in 1899, but even in the 1980s, so in his 80s, he's carting around these massive boulders because he's decided he needs to tame the sea so that his little rowing boat wasn't going to get hit by any big waves. And we were teenagers by this stage, and we couldn't lift these rocks. But it was, looking back on it, such a charmed, privileged place to spend 3-4 months of every year. And the only trouble being is that the Greek that I learnt from my grandparents, who didn't speak a word of English, is the Greek of 1899, of people born in 1899. So if I went out in Athens with people my own age, I would say things and they'd go, "What? Nobody said that." So the equivalent of, "What do you think of that film?" I thought it was spiffing. They go, "Spiffing? Nobody says spiffing anymore." I go, "My granddad does," and that's my word for cool. But no, I love being Greece, and I'm thrilled to be able to be here to try and encourage people to choose Greece as their holiday destination, because you won't go better.
Thank you, Vassos. But please tell us, apart from your childhood memories, of course, you continue going back. So it wasn't only during the summer holidays that your parents made you to go back to Greece.
No, it was.
You decided to go back again.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I'm 100% Greek. I have family out in Greece. We're in Athens a lot. Since I had children, my children are 17 and 15, and little Maria, who's 7. We go to Greece the whole time. Actually, October, you mentioned October is a great time to go to Greece. And, that's the secret time to go to Greece. That's when Greeks who aren't, in Greece go to Greece. Crete in October. you won't do better. It's just after the main season, so no problem getting into the little tavernas by the sea, and the weather is still fantastic. We book villas or sometimes stay in hotels in the northeast corner. It's our favourite bit by Hanya, but you can go walking through the gorge, the very famous gorge in Greece, the pink beach down on the south. There is something to keep me entertained. I love running. There's something to keep my wife and children entertained. They love being on beaches. They love exploring. They love the welcome that you get from the tavernas. But we go all over. And of course, I'm a big runner, and Greece is the home of the marathon.
Yeah, well, that's what you're saying. You say you keep running, so shall I ask how many times you participated to the Athens Marathon, or not only?
Yeah, there's the Athens Classic Marathon. I'm sure everybody here, travel professionals know the story of the marathon. When the Persians arrived on the shore at Marathon, the Greeks won the battle there, which sort of preserved democracy, and they sent their best messenger, because back in Athens, this new city-state, they would have been panicking, ready to set fire to the city and head for the hills, because the Persians were coming, and the Persians didn't mean well, So they needed their best guy to get back to Athens to tell of the victory, so that they didn't, do anything rash. And this is the guy called Phidippides, in English, Philippidi in Greek, who ran back and 26.2 odd miles from Marathonas to Athens to say, look, we won. And the famous story is he promptly collapsed and died, poor chap. And he's a little bit derided for that. And what many people don't know is that previously, when they first arrived, he'd been sent to Sparta, a rival city-state, to ask for help in the battle. So he had to run 155 miles over the mountains to the Peloponnese to Sparta. Will you help us? The Spartans said, well, not yet. They had their reasons. So he had to run back another 150 miles to say no. Then he fought in the battle. So he'd had a bit of a week of it, poor old Phidippides, which is why he didn't meet a particularly happy end after the first marathon. But it's great. You go to Greece to run these races, and there is a very strong feeling, you'll know this, from everybody, whether it's the Spartathlon, which recreates his original route of 150 miles to Sparta, which I've run, and that's, basically through countryside in the middle of the night often, and people come out to greet you and clap you on, or the Athens Classic Marathon in November.
People, even professional runners, don't actually know, not all of them, that this is the initial, original, place from Marathon to Athens of the Classic Marathon, and the first Olympic Games were actually in Greece. And for people trying to exceed their human and body limits, and convince their mind to run 20 or 40 or 60 kilometers like you do. Mind you, he's with his sports shoes today.
Yeah.
He's ready. So it's a huge inspiration to know that you're in the birthplace of the Olympic Games, and that many years ago, ancient Greeks did the sport, run the traditional Marathon to Athens circuit, and it's a different honor, it's a different privilege, and it's a big inspiration. Of course, nowadays, when you finish that, you can go to the tavernas and have this exceptional Greek food.
Yeah.
So
and a beer.
And a beer.
Yeah.
And a beer. So I understand that it can be in common in Southampton or in a major park in London when the weather is better. Brits relax and drink their beer. But if you link it to Greece, it's an unbelievable experience. You want sports, you can have it. You want to be by the sea, plenty of islands, beautiful sea, sun and sand. You want to taste the delicious food of all regions, it's there. You want civilization, you want museums, you want culture and history, it's there. Plus, I know it's not something new It's something that we say every year, but we definitely respect travelers and visitors, and we're known for our hospitality, and this is a different blend.
It's the welcome. It's the welcome that you get, and that's the the point that I was trying to make. All along the street, when you're running these races, they feel that you're honouring the Greek culture and traditions and history simply by running the race, which of course you are, and that means a lot. Greeks are very proud to be Greek, the three of us included, and yes, it's the welcome that you get, whether you're running the marathon from Marathonas to the Panathenaic Stadium. You end in the Marble Stadium, birthplace of the modern Olympics in 1896. It's the most magical finish. To a little taverna by the sea in the middle of nowhere on an island that few people have heard of. The welcome is with open arms every time.
Yeah. But Vassos, you also had the experience of living in Athens when you were in BBC, reporting for the Olympic Games back in 2004. How was your experience having really being as a citizen there?
It was a difficult build-up to the Games. You'll remember this, Vasilis, because it was the first Olympic Games post 9/11, and the world changed, and the narrative in the media, certainly here in the UK and definitely in the USA, was that there would be, the Greeks would not be able to cope. They wouldn't finish building the Games on time, and even if they did, there would be trouble. There would be security breaches everywhere. And then you get to the Games, and everybody was charmed by Greece, by the welcome, by how much the Games meant to everybody. And I suddenly, having been, in the build-up to the Games for the 6 months before the Games, I was almost like the BBC's Greek spokesperson. If there was they're not going to finish the swimming venue on time. Yes, they are. It's just, like the old joke. When do they need to finish the swimming? It's going to be done.
Plus, we have here, and I cannot overcome this. We have here Voula Patoulidou from the municipality of Thessaloniki, has the special organization for tourism, gold Olympic champion for Greece. Thank you very much. So more or less everybody is into tourism nowadays in Greece. Former champions, athletes, doctors, presenters.
Yeah.
We were a whole gang.
Well, you can't go wrong.
Okay.
We're on the talking of gold medals. We're on the gold medal winning ship here.
A champion is always a champion. Yeah, you have to go in front. And as I said before, we are very proud that you are our ambassador, because every day and through your books and all your stories telling, much more than that, you are promoting Greece, of course, with your own way. But as I said, you are also feeling, you are Greek, you're not feeling it, but you're passing it also to your children.
Yeah, my children feel, so my name is Vassos Alexander. My first name is Vassos, after my grandfather in the Greek tradition, and my middle name is Alexander, after my father in the Greek tradition. And that's the name I use professionally. But my last name is Georgiadis, Georgiadi. And I said to my children a few years ago, look, if you want, so that we don't all have to spell Georgiadis, we all live in the UK, they have an English mother. If you want, we can just drop Georgiadis, and you can just be, Alexander works with everyone's names, and then you don't have to spell it. And all three of them went, absolutely not.
Really?
Georgiadis ties us to Greece. And
Wow.
I felt embarrassed that I'd offered it. I'm embarrassed to repeat the story in front of you. But it's lovely to know that just through those trips to Greece, because they've never spent the time in Greece that I have. They didn't have Greek grandparents, building jetties on Evia, but they've been to Greece every year of their lives, and they feel such an emotional attachment to whether it's to Crete or whether it's to Athens, or we've been to the Peloponnese together and to Limnos and all over. they love it and they feel Greek, which makes me very, very proud.
That's really nice to hear, and that you're passing that to the next generation. And actually, because we're only name dropping some of the destination, I would like to invite you on behalf of our Secretary General, of course, of the Visit Greece, to come to Greece, and of course with the Minister to visit some other destinations, not only the well-known ones like Corfu and Rhodos and Creta and Zakynthos, but also the less well-known, let's say, like Pilion and Volos and Epirus, and for a short break to Thessaloniki, of course.
Brilliant. You transport me. Thank you, Lenny.
Perfect. We'll wait for you to do that. So thank you, Vassos.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Minister.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much all for being here with us today. We hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice WTM, continue it, and we'll see you again next year.
Thank you very much.